Okay, let's go. Today is Monday, September 19th, 2022, and yes, I like to have a watch to remind me. Um, but anyway, it's early in the afternoon. I've had my day at work, and I've had my run, and I've had my shower, and I've had my food, and I'm about to lie down and sleep for the day. And actually open the window blinds to let in some natural light. Um, but I've got blackout curtains in the other room, but I don't use them because I've got plants. And even though I probably would sleep better with the curtains closed, and sure I could move the plants, but that's like another step, and like I'd be. So I manage my normal because my normal is different from other people's normal, and my struggles and problems or whatever, if somebody else you know happened upon them and saw how I do things, and it's normal to me, but to somebody else who just observes for the first time, it's like, why is this like this? Why do you do it like that? And it's like, I don't even think about it. I don't even notice because it's normal to me. So I don't know why things are. And it's like I'd have to think about it. It's like, well, uh, and then there'd be a whole history and a whole story of how I came to believe that this is, or how I arrived at doing it, because I probably did it other ways first, and then incrementally, uh, through trial and error or accident or whatever, uh, found a way that works for me, and it doesn't bother me enough or cause me problems enough that I see fit to investigate or reassess any other solution, because I've already found a solution that works. It's like, as far as like same thing goes for like meeting people. It's like, well, if I've already satisfied whatever quotient I need to address, as far as like enough people in my life, I have enough people in my life. I don't really need that anymore. I don't think. It's like I wouldn't have time for them anyway. I wouldn't know what to do with them. So I like my personal time. I need my personal time. Um, and it's like even with a relationship, it's like, yeah, I'm not really looking because I've already found, and it's like I just don't know what's going on. So it's not like I'm really in the market for starting a new relationship. I've already got a relationship. I just don't know what it is. But I still suspect um, potential, and I don't want to abandon, before it has a chance. It's like I think it has a chance as long as I just keep doing what I'm doing the way that I'm doing it, being the way that I am. It appears that that's I don't know. So I just keep I don't know, a low profile, just kind of mind my manners, my etiquette, and yeah. But I'm not completely shut down from possibilities other. It's just I haven't come across anybody that's remotely as enchanting as the person I've been in discourse with remotely for these past spans of time. I'm trying to be respectful of privacies and anonymity. So that's what I do. Um, because I like my own privacy respected, so it's like that's the best I can do in return is to do the same. Um, So, in other news, I did successfully, even though it was unplanned, unscripted, completely improvised run. Even though when I saw my numbers and I thought about it, I was like, oh, I have to now. I have to. So I did a 77-77, just out of the blue, because it was nice weather. And I got out there early, enough that the sun wasn't too high, and temperatures are still cool, so that was nice. And that took me over I only needed just under 5 miles to get to 600 miles. So the way it worked for me is like, well, I have to get to 600 today, even though I had just run Saturday and Sunday, and today was supposed to be a day off. I was like, no, I have to go today. I have to. And even though I only needed 5 miles to get to 600, I went ahead and, because the weather was so nice and it's going to be so hot tomorrow, I wanted to put in some extra miles to make up for my not running on those hot days tomorrow and Wednesday, should I decide to take off Wednesday too, to make it so I have a nice Thursday long run. It might even be a half marathon. If I take off Tuesday and Wednesday, I might do a half marathon on Thursday with 2 full days off. And if I take my time and I actually pace myself, which I don't do very well, I'm bad at that because I don't run races. I don't compete. I just go for distance and I just run until I feel like stopping. And then I start to turn around and circle my way back. Not maybe direct routes, but I circle around. And if I have leftover energy, I just keep going. I don't know when to stop. I sometimes almost have to force myself to. It's like, no. Stop now, run tomorrow. Not. It's discretion. Runner's discretion. So, and also responsibility, to not cause myself suffering by injury. Because if I get hurt or overexert myself, because that's already happened once before, it can take me out for, weeks. And then I get, cranky and grumpy and all that sort of thing. But thinking back to the most recent video, well, I've had to, since recalibrate my perspective since then, which was a reassessment of perception at that time. But that was based on this and that, and it was before I had access to and knew about this and that. And so the timeline is just, when did I know what, and what did I think when, and what had I said what and where, and who was I thinking about in what capacity, and what impact, and was I feeling self-pity? Was I feeling just overly lonely or just tired? Or, thinking about, running out of time as far as going to sleep. And it's like, oh, if I go to sleep now, I'll get 3 hours. If I go to sleep now, I'll only get 2 hours. And so, I don't know. It was a combination of factors. And so today, I've been, based on today's living, having seen and heard and felt what I felt today, I'm reattuning, reattenuating, recalibrating, resyncopating, reassuring, and kind of taking a step back, because I really don't know what's going on, how's going on. I don't know the else who's, the else whys, the else whats, the else fors, the else wheres, the else hows. I do know the else hearts. That has no mind. And I know that the truth that it speaks, and that is what I am responsible for. I cannot claim ownership or understanding over the heart of the matter for anyone else, or because I just don't have a claim or dominion over knowledge of the domains of others and their histories and contexts and cultures. I am just not privy to that information. And I wouldn't want to be either. That's just too much, that responsibility. So it's like a lot of the writing that I read, it's like it's probably for the best that I don't understand a lot of it, because then I become responsible for the awareness of it. In my ignorance, I am protected, and other people are protected from me too. Because if I actually understood the ramifications of what is being currently debated, I probably would just shut down and, well, I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe I give myself too much credit, or maybe I don't give myself credit enough. But I do lack the emotional experience and the emotional intelligence to process a lot of things. And I guess it's one of my personal structural integrity failings. I just don't perceive other people's feelings very well. I don't read people. And it's not because well, I really don't know. And, and people get upset and they think I'm mean and they think I don't care. And it's actually like I really, I can't afford to get, too involved because I care too much. And I am powerless to have any impact on a lot of things. And I get emotionally overwhelmed and stressed. And then it doesn't, and I can't afford it. The time to get involved in too many people's lives, their causes, their campaigns, their crusades. I cannot champion all these things. I have to ration out my energy. Otherwise, it's just too much. I just get oversaturated, and then I just have to go away and shut down on everybody. And it is really easy to disappear. It is tough. Very difficult to reappear. Same thing goes for dying. Dying is easy. Coming back to life, that's very difficult. But it can be done. I know firsthand. I am living proof, living evidence of it being possible. And I remember way too much. Okay, that's going to shut down right there. Yeah. Dang it, it creeps up on me still. Okay. I'm not re-recording anything. This is just going. It's all very real for me. It's a lot more real than it used to be. I don't know what the person who I used to be thought about things and how they processed everything, because they were still under the impression that they were just like everybody else. They were just somehow bad at everything. And always pretending, always imitating, always trying to keep up the energy and the discipline and personality of whomever he thought was required against every situation, and just being a mess. And, and I was just drinking myself to death over the course of the last decade of that life was my solution, my final solution at just not interacting with the world, just shutting it down, just denying the world access, just shutting down, quitting, still living, not living very well. I was doing okay, but could have been doing a lot better. Well, in those last couple of years, they weren't doing well at all. But anyway, yeah. But now I'm doing a lot better. And for me, I'm doing a hell of a lot better. Bar none, as the word. I don't even know what that means. Bar none. Where did that come from? I don't know. Yeah. That's a scary thing, is that I don't even know or remember all the things that I forgot. And I never will. It's like a whole different personality, whole different life. And the only way I know about it is from people that used to know me, because they treat me like the person they remember that I used to be. And I can see the realization slowly as people, it's like, I'm sorry, I'm not the person that you think I am. The person that you think I am didn't make it. I didn't survive. And all that's left is me. But for me, it's a good thing, because the other person, they weren't long for this world anyway. I don't know. They had already made their decisions. And the person that I am now is the person capable of making the decisions that I wouldn't have used to have been able to emotionally even fathom or undertake. And I didn't have the motivation, inclination, or energy or attention to dare dream of doing the things that I'm doing now. It's not a projection. It's not a simulation. It's not an imagination. It is real. As real as it gets for me, which may be unsettlingly surreal for others. How loosely I fix things in my mind, because things change, and I have to change with them, because the rules keep on changing out there. So I just have to be fluid, versatile, flexible, for when things don't make sense, and when there's contradictory action, and people being hypocritical, saying one thing, doing another. It's like saying you should do this, or else why is this, but then not doing it themselves. And I don't know. There was something else I wanted to say, but I'm not remembering it right now. I guess the other thing I was thinking about before I started this was, the hair is getting really long. It is doing that thing where it keeps on growing, and it gets longer and longer, because I haven't gotten it cut. And here in about a week, just over a week, will be my 3 years of since about the time when I got my last haircut. So 3 years of no haircuts. And I could probably, I'm guessing I could probably use a trim or whatever, but I'm guessing over those 3 years, it's like the ones that are most damaged, just naturally, lose themselves or whatever. I don't know. But then also around the same time is when I, since my last haircut, because I didn't decide I was going to grow my hair long. The pandemic happened, and it just happened that way. It was never a plan or a design. It just happened to happen that way. And that was from 2019. So before all this, and but also around that same time, I quit smoking. September 28th. I remember the date on that one. At least I think it's September 28th. It doesn't really matter to me because I don't celebrate it. It's just a date. It's just a thing. But I'm happy for it. I'm happy that I'm still a very, very satisfied and contented non-smoker. I'm not a smoker in recovery. I'm not an ex-smoker. I'm a person who used to smoke, but doesn't any longer. So I'm not a smoker in recovery. I don't have meetings or groups or support, and I don't talk about it very much, but it's part of my repertoire as far as people know this about me, some people, and so when they themselves need or have questions about how did I quit smoking, or just look for some sort of commiseration or compassion when they themselves might be trying to quit, they let me know about it, and so I can celebrate their little milestones with them. And whatever works. It's like, yeah, a month, great. 2 months, awesome. 3 months, keep going. My gosh, you can be a non-smoker before you know. You already are. And I'll just I'll be a cheerleader for them. Sure. I like doing that for people. Provide them some support that they might not get otherwise, because they don't have a support system like I do. I know I could have more support if I wanted it, but I think I get too much, and people are trying to impose their support on me at times, and trying to, the whole guilt trip, shame trip, gaslight type of affair, which I can fall victim to, or just accidentally walk into it, and then find myself feeling guilty. Then it's like, wait a second, why am I feeling guilty? And it's like, have I done anything to warrant or earn this feeling? And it's like, no, but people's suspicions, because their lack of understanding of how I'm doing okay and why I'm doing okay, because they think that their understanding is a prerequisite to me being allowed to be okay. It's like, so, and it's like, I'm just not one to explain myself. I used to be feeling like I had to explain myself to other people's satisfaction, so that I would be, left alone, basically. Now it's just like, hey, think whatever you like, believe whatever you like, talk about me, whatever you like, I don't care. And it's like, I try to be less interesting on purpose. So I'm just not a subject of, no one thinks about me, because I'm just not around, and I'm not I try to keep a public persona of not being interesting. So even though I might have interesting conversation tidbits or interesting thoughts or remarks that I would like to bring up, I will just keep them to myself until I can share them or write them. And it's like, yeah. So I just can't handle too many people wanting conversation all at once. And then that expectation. And it's like, I can't do that. And not every day. It's like not on demand. Not at, it's like, yeah, you might have had 1 or 2 really good conversations with me, but those might have been on high energy days when I had excess energy. But then it could be months before I have any sort of close to that ever again. And there's no guarantee that they'll be the recipient of it. Somebody else might get it. And then they'll like see something that's like, oh, this guy's, he's a pretty cool guy. And it's like, no, I'm not. Don't you dare think that. Just, go. So, anyway, I've had enough of myself now. Congratulating myself, deprecating myself, deflating, inflating. It's like, but it's kind of like a game, not a very good game, and I don't like the rules. I make the rules, but I don't like them. Not all the time. Sometimes I play around and, decide what's real. And that gets scary. But mostly I like just the creative writing aspect and artistic enterprise and poetic license. So it's like no one should ever really take me too seriously. Except for those times when you should, but no one knows when those are. And no one's paying attention anyway. No one watches these. And it is all anonymous, and I'm not even really here. The person that is talking does not exist. It's just a figment and a fictional character, basically. And when I hit the stop button, I'll never watch this again. It'll become a thumbnail, an animated thumbnail. And it'll be like, I wonder what that one's about. And I'll never pay attention to it or watch it. And I'll never know. And it'll just go into the archive, the repository, amongst the others, the offerings. And but it's there. And I like knowing that it's there. It's like a collection. But most likely it's better off these things are not observed, and even better, it's probably better off that they receive no commentary. The act of recording is the expression itself. There's the value in it, is the expression. The feeling of having exhaled a dream, being of incarnate corporal reality, and trying to have some fun with it. Might as well. So, anyway, I guess I should go. It's getting long, and if it goes over 30 minutes, I've noticed that it takes forever to process. So, this is me signing off. Have a good night.